welcome back to Week 7 commentary, Tired of the Crud Sports Wobbler. I'm the producer and announcer, Dapper. We're coming to you live from the Tired of the Crud Sports Complex, Tired of the Crud, Wisconsin. And, we're going to go to a commercial break and come back with our battles, John, Jack the Gangster, Eternal, and Fudd. So, see you in a minute. And we are back. So, all I have to say is that this last week in sports in the NFL was quite compelling. There were lots of things that happened that most will realize why we'll have a show that is just for the NFL, one of the greatest leagues in the history of sport. But I will hand it over to the guys in the booth, so take it away, boys. Oh yes, how are you doing out there? And so, we are here with our, I don't know what number episode this is. Does that matter? Anyway, you'll find that we do each show a little bit differently, perhaps a little bit different format, just because there's like no real need to do everything by a set script, if you would. We are going to have a little fun today, and we are going to have some laughs, and hopefully not wet our trousers in the process. And so we'll mention a few scores and talk about each story, because there was a lot going on this week in the National Football League. Yeah. So anyway, I'll kick it off to my friend Mr. Fudd, and he will go through the first match for you, if you don't mind my saying so. Hey, John, not to be rude or anything, but sometimes I think you talk a little long. So, anyway, like my buddy John said, we just kind of do each show as it comes. There's no set script. And I actually am going to sing a little bit of another song today. Maybe a couple of bars from a couple of different tunes, couple of different numbers. So, the first score we want to talk about is Pittsburgh versus KC, where Landry Jones, in his first career start, did not have as good a day as he had in relief of Michael Vick. Kansas City takes this one. Tony? Yep, Kansas City takes this one. Next game. Wow. Tony does not want to talk about the Kansas City victory over Pittsburgh. No, what's there to talk about? Who cares about Kansas City? What's Kansas City done since Hank Stram was the coach? Well, that's true. New England at the New York Jets. Yeah, the Jets gave New England a run for their money. But what does it all matter anyway when you end up losing the game? I mean, was there ever any doubt that the New England was going to pull this one out? No, never any doubt. It's almost as if Brady toys with the opponent before he finally sticks the dagger in and finishes them off. Well, I mean, come on. And New England has Miami on Thursday. Well, what's that, tomorrow night? 2 nights from there? Yeah, okay. Miami is going to stop Irvin Bull, New England. They played an inferior opponent opened up on him, but that's not going to happen every week. What's a little Jack? Well, to be honest with you, man, I get tired of hearing about the Patriots winning all the time. I just get tired of it. And I'm kind of a Patriots fan. But you see, the Patriots win so much, mate, that we just almost get spoiled with it, you know. I really kind of think that maybe all we're really interested in is the playoffs anymore, because that's how good us Pats fans have it. Yep, and this came at the expense of my Jets, which happens twice a year. Yeah, Bowles has got them playing better, but come on now. Was there ever any doubt that the Patriots are going to win this game? No. And what's funny is the same people who called Brady a cheater a few months ago now call him legendary, out of this world, superstar, getting better with each year, can play 10 years from now. I got some news for you. You are such a hypocrite, because you see, time plays itself out. And what happens is people vindicate themselves by showing you what really happened by the motivation that it gives them when they are falsely accused. Look at Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis was made way too much of a deal earlier in his career when he was involved with some sort of, not involved, he was just maybe poor choice of friends, young guy, good guy, and so he was in the wrong place at the wrong time and went through a big brouhaha, and as a result of it, he went through all this legal trouble, which eventually he was vindicated for. And now, in the past, every year after that in his career, now retired, look at him. He proved over all those years his character and showed everybody that that was just all a big attack on him. The same thing can be said of Clarence Thomas, the Supreme Court Justice, the black guy who was accused falsely of harassment against some aide of his. Well, he has shown in all the decades he has spent on the Supreme Court bench that he is a man of impeccable character. Well, I'm not saying Tom Brady has impeccable character, but what I am saying is that he is showing he has an even bigger chip on his shoulder than he had before. And what that says psychologically is that he did not have anything to do with the footballs. And as a result of it, everybody on the Patriots schedule is going to get mowed down by the M16 rifle that is his arm. So next it's going to be the Dolphins. The week after that it's going to be the Deadskins. And that's the next goal we will talk about. Yeah, you know, I'm glad you mentioned that, Fudd. The next goal we're going to talk about. Everybody is probably going to have something to say about the Redskins versus the Bucs. And here's what I want to say. The Redskins win 31-30. And this game was a watershed game, a landmark game for this sorry, pathetic franchise. Because this game marked the first time in 18 years that this team played with any heart whatsoever. Even though they stuck it up in the first half. Because there's still too many guys on the defensive side of the ball that don't want to play hard. And there's still guys on this team who are on the field because they're either a high draft pick or they are a, how do we say it? Making too much money. Let me say this. What happened in the second half of this game was real simple. Perry Riley is the worst jack inside linebacker in a 3-4 defense in the whole NFL. And because he was a draft pick and he signed another contract, You cannot let Will Compton out there because he's just a sorry undrafted free agent out of Nebraska. I got news for you. Will Compton is so much better a jack inside linebacker than Perry Riley, it is not even funny. And all that had to happen was for Perry Riley to get hurt. Will Compton comes in, and next thing you know, the Bucs can't run anymore, and the secondary responds to that. The Redskins are stupid morons for having Perry Riley in there when Will Compton is a better linebacker, and it's not even close. Because they're still playing favorites with guys who are drafted high or higher and not playing guys who are hungry. And that's a damn problem with the Redskins. If this is the Patriots or the Colts or anybody else, Will Compton would be out on the football field every down. Perry Riley's butt would be on the bench. Excuse me for my French. I just get tired of all this politics and who plays and who doesn't. Calm down. Sorry. Calm down. I agree 100%. The Redskins still play favorites to some extent with their roster. So you have to wonder why Morgan Moses is out there as a right tackle. I think part of the deal with that is that they promoted Griffin. So there was one guy who was a high-profile guy. So all of a sudden, Morgan Moses has a loose Frank injury out the whole off-season. And he was well behind in his development before that. And so they draft Brandon Scherf as a right tackle, and they'll have Spencer Long as a right guard, Corey Lichtensteiger as a center, and Sean Navarro as the left guard. And all of a sudden, they'll demote Griffin, and all of a sudden, they'll move Scherf to a right guard and stick Moses in there. And demote Spencer Long, when there was nothing wrong with Spencer Long. So my question is, was Spencer Long demoted and Scherf moved to left to right guard to put Moses in there because Griffin was benched? Because Morgan Moses is the worst offensive lineman that they'll have. And I doubt very seriously that Brandon Scherf is not much better than Morgan Moses at right tackle. The Redskins' offensive line should be Scherf at right tackle, Long at right guard, Lichtensteiger at center, Spencer Long at left guard with Williams at left tackle. But the best players are not on the field because the Redskins can't admit that they wasted a third-round pick on a numbskull. But moving right along, on a positive note with this game, I think that Kirk Cousins proved in this game that he is definitely showing signs of progress in his development as a starter. And I think that no matter what happens the rest of this year, that RG3 will never see the field again as a quarterback for this team. And if the Redskins had any sense at all, and if Griffin had any humility at all, he would waive the $16 million guaranteed money he gets for the 5th year option on his contract. And he would go and waive that and listen to them when they wisely go to tell him that he needs to be converted into a slot receiver. I mean, the Steelers did that with Hines Ward. He was a college quarterback at Indiana, right? He was a college quarterback at Indiana. And then all of a sudden, they have a quarterback over there at the Steelers already, so they convert him into a receiver. And now he's in the Hall of Fame. Maybe, it just might be, if Griffin was supposedly humble, which everybody says that he is, maybe he would do the smart thing, if he is smart, and agree to a position change. I think Griffin would make a terrific slot receiver. What say you, Tony? Oh, I couldn't agree more. I totally couldn't agree more. And I think that Griffin is a day late and a dollar short. And I think Griffin will be dumb and insist on that option because he wants to play quarterback even though he stinks at it. And he will end up with another team when he has an ideal opportunity to do something good with his career and with his life, stay in the DC area and become a receiver. And you know, once he gets good at that, maybe if Cousins gets hurt years from now, he can continue to develop as a quarterback and come in as a backup and play a few games that way. You know? And say, hey, don't worry about the $16 million. But Griffin's not that smart. I mean, his intelligence was way overblown from the beginning. As he's proven, he cannot learn how to play this offense. And he was just basically making it on his athletic ability. You get hurt and that's gone. That's the way it is. That's why super athletic quarterbacks should not play quarterback in the NFL. It works in college. It does not work in the pros. Convert them all into slot receivers. Now, getting along to the Panthers versus Philadelphia. Okay, let me say this one thing. The Panthers are a very good football team. They're a lot better than everybody gave them credit for going into the season. And honestly, I think that everybody got the Panthers mixed up with the Ravens. The Ravens are, who by the way lost to the Cardinals to go 1-6. The Ravens are not that good. They do not have any real weapons on the defensive side, and they do not have any real weapons on the offensive side. The reason why the Ravens are 1-6 is because they're not a very good football team right now. Yeah, I couldn't help but interject with this, man, because the Patriots play the Ravens at least once a year, right? And I like the Ravens as an organization and all, but to be honest with you, I agree, the Ravens are not that good. That's their problem. And they're going to keep right on losing until Terrell Suggs comes back. But the problem with that is, man, is that you cannot have one whole side of the ball contingent on one player being on the field or not. I agree. So, what do I have to say about Cam Newton? You were talking earlier about, oh yeah, Cam Newton is proving last part of last year and this year that he is the real deal NFL franchise quarterback. He is the exact opposite of RG3, whatever you want to call him. Cam Newton is showing the maturity, the character, the leadership between him and Star Lutuwewe and Luke Kuechly and that one really good cornerback that they have, Josh Norman. Is that what his name is? Anyway, the Patriots are for real. They will beat the Colts Monday night. And but I do believe that once they go to play the Packers at Lambeau Field the week after that, that is when they will lose their first game of the year. But yeah, Cam Newton, to me, is now, he is in the same class as far as giving you the best chance to win until he actually wins a Super Bowl. You cannot put him in that category yet. But he definitely is in the same category as Tony Romo and Ben Roethlisberger as far as gives you the best chance to win. And he is, if he keeps this up, if the Panthers keep this up with a great defense, with Jared Allen also there on the defensive side of the ball, the Panthers are going to go into the playoffs and possibly even make it to the Super Bowl. Who knows? Okay, so without going on any further, we are going to take a break for the moment and be back shortly. Cheers! We are back. So, you had something to say about the Jacksonville Buffalo Yahoo streaming live game tunnel? Yeah, I did. What a joke. Next topic. I mean, come on. If you're gonna have this first time in NFL history game streaming live from another country, what are you gonna have Jacksonville and Buffalo in that game for? That does not make any sense at all. You got the biggest horses batute coach in Rex Ryan and the Jaguars. I mean, why are you going to pick this matchup to do that with? I mean, it probably is one of the lowest ranking, lowest rated premieres probably in the history of professional sports. I mean, okay idea, I guess. I don't really care watching sports on Yahoo or whatever it is, but just the wrong matchup. If I was going to do something like this and I wanted it to be successful, I'm going to put Denver out there with Pittsburgh. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, we're going to talk about 2 more games to wrap this up. And the floor score wasn't discussed. It's because we either didn't have time to get to it, or we just didn't care enough to cover it. Oh well. So, and then Fudd's going to sing a tune for us. Miami and Dan Campbell. Yeah, you look at Dan Campbell in the press conferences after the games, and the only word that you can really come up with is that this guy is fired up. You know, never been a coordinator, never been a head coach before, and yet he seems to be handling himself just fine. And I think that he's going to do quite well, although he's going to get his first loss against New England Thursday night. That's a given. You want to go and make some money, hop on FanDuel and put some bread down on the Patriots team, both versus Miami and the Redskins next week. I mean the Deadskins, sorry, and go from there. But there's no doubt. I think that the players are really responding to Campbell's leadership, and I think that it's going to go well with them for the rest of this year. But as long as they're in the same division with the Patriots, the Dolphins can just go ahead and bloom and forget about it. Well, I agree. Patriots are gonna roll everybody up like a rug. Giants Cowboys. Without Tony Romo and Des Bryant, Cowboys continue to lose. And oddly enough, the one team that seems to have a bright spot at quarterback could be the Redskins. But here's the one thing that we don't do on Monday Morning Quarterback: overreact. Cousins had a great game, but he's got too many guys around him that don't want to play hard. That's the problem with this team has been. They've been seeing earlier this week about how Chris Cooley critiquing Alfred Morris's running. Soft and weak and uninspired. Not getting to his gaps quickly enough. Not making decisive decisions on his reads. Alfred Morris, if he doesn't watch it, he's going to be gone. Too many soft people around Kirk Cousins. They need to bring more men in there. And the Raiders won. Yeah, the Raiders won. So I'm going to go ahead and sing a song to close us out, and that'll be it for this week. We hope you had a great time listening, and tune in next week for another episode of Tired of the Quad Sports Radio. Why are there so many songs about rainbows and what's on the other side? Wait a minute. You're going to close a sports show with a rainbow connection? Yeah, what do you mean? What? No. Listen, Fudd, if you're going to keep singing on the show, you're going to have to pass that song through us before you do it to make sure it's okay. Well, what song can I sing? You said several weeks ago that you knew Eye of the Tiger by Survivor? Yeah, you want me to sing that one? Sure, why not? It's the eye of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight, rising up to the challenge of our rivals. And the last known survivor stalks his prey in the night, and he's watching us all with the eye of the tiger. So many times it happens too fast. You trade your passion for glory. Don't use your whip on the things of the past. You must fight just to keep them alive. It's the eye of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight, rising up to the challenge of our rivals. And the last known survivor stalks his prey in the night, and he's watching us all with the eye of the tiger. So next walk. Bye bye.